Imagine if you can control any person's decision, his thinking, and even his mood. Is it possible? Absolutely. And today I am going to tell you 5 psychological hacks which are scientifically proven. And if used ethically, you can influence anyone without them knowing. This is not black magic. This is science and a little touch of dark psychology. Point number 4 is something that even FBI agents use in interrogations, so make sure you don't miss it. Point 1, power of silence. Now imagine once you are sitting in front of someone. You are looking straight into his eyes. You asked him a simple question and then you became silent. No reaction, no smile. Just keep your eyes fixed and listen to the other person's answer, silently. Now think what must be going on in that person's mind. Often people think that the one who speaks more has control over the conversation. But psychology says something else. Psychology says that the one who remains silent is actually speaking inside the other person's mind. Silence means that silence, which makes the other person doubt his own words. Because silence is the thing that scares a person the most. Silence fills our mind with anxiety, and a person starts speaking to fill that emptiness, and this is the moment from where the control starts coming in your hands. Now imagine that you give someone a chance to speak, and as soon as he answers, you do not say anything for 3 to 5 seconds. You just smile lightly or maintain eye contact. What goes on in their mind? Did I say something wrong? Maybe they didn't, like my answer. Maybe I should explain something more. And then they keep talking on their own. Sometimes they even say things that they wanted to hide. This technique works not only in casual conversations, but also in interrogation rooms, business deals, relationship talks, everywhere. Silence creates psychological pressure, and this pressure makes the other person emotionally open. This is called, let the silence do the heavy lifting. Point 2, name magic. Point 2, name magic. Now a small question when someone calls you by your name. Without saying, "Hi, madam," "Excuse me, oye, hey," and directly takes your name, then something clicks inside, isn't it? The attention shifts for a moment. The mind becomes alert, and subconsciously we start giving that person some extra importance. Why? Because a name is not just an identity. A name is an emotional anchor. Harvard's research says that when someone takes your name, the same parts of your brain get activated, which are related to love, recognition, and validation. Now think, what will happen if you use someone's name casually but respectfully over and over again while talking to them? The other person will feel that this person genuinely wants to know me. My identity matters to him, and that's where the connection begins, and gradually control comes. Now listen to an example. You are talking to a person named Ravi. Now there are 2 ways to talk. First, yes, I think you can do it. Second, Ravi, I have full faith that you can do this. Now think for yourself in which you feel more connection. As soon as the name is added, the message becomes personal. That general thing now seems direct. It reaches the heart and it works wonders not only in conversation but also in negotiation, persuasion, sales, even relationships. When you suggest something to someone by taking his name, you connect with his identity, and a person listens only to that which validates his identity. Using the name is not manipulation. It is a way of showing respect and recognition. It opens up the person. But remember not to use it more than necessary. If the name comes in every 2 lines, it will look fake. The timing should be right place, right tone, and right intention. Just understand that the name is an invisible key which can open the doors of the subconscious of the person in front. Now think, if someone's heart and mind can be won just by taking the name, then think what impact will it have when you slowly start mirroring his gestures without telling him. Point 3, mismatched mirroring. Now tell me one thing. Has it ever happened that you were talking to someone and suddenly you felt that both of you have come into the same body language? Like if he raises his hand, then after some time you also do the same, or if he bends forward a little and you also lean towards him. This is not a coincidence. This is mirroring. That is, a person starts copying the gestures, tone, and body language of the other person subconsciously, and when this happens, the connection is formed very fast. Now think, if we use this natural tendency a little intentionally, then can't we quickly build trust and comfort with someone? But here is the twist. Everyone does normal mirroring. But we are talking about mismatched mirroring. That means you will not copy the gestures of the other person directly, but will do it with a little delay and subtle variation. For example, if the other person laughs and tilts his head a little to the left, then after a second, you can tilt your head to the right with a slight smile. Same energy, but not exactly the same move. This creates a psychological illusion that we both are different, but we are vibing. The other person thinks that this person is not exactly copying me, but still he seems connected to me. And this is where trust builds subconsciously. Pay attention. This trick becomes stronger when you start matching his speech pattern and tone with gestures in a light way. That is, if he is speaking slowly and softly, then you also lower your tone a bit. If he is fast and energetic, then you also match your energy. But do not overact. To tell you the truth, people do not even notice that you are doing this, but they definitely feel that you are just like me. And this feeling is the gateway to control. Now listen to this. The world's biggest negotiators, FBI agents, and high-level salespeople use mismatched mirroring because it directly triggers the subconscious of the other person. And the most amazing thing is that you can shift both the mind and mood of the other person without saying anything. Now just think, if you can make a place in a person's mind by remaining silent, calling out his name and matching body language, then imagine what will happen when you reflect his desires and fears in a clear way. Point 4. Confusion technique. When the mind gets tired, it says yes. Now just think. If a person's mind gets a little overloaded, that is, if he hears many contradictory things at once, or the same question is asked repeatedly in different ways, then what happens? Confusion, and this confusion is a very clear and powerful control technique. This trick is not a common communication tactic. It is a legitimate method used by FBI interrogators, hostage negotiators, and psychological operations. It is said that when a person's mind is clear, he can say no with clarity. But when the mind is confused, it starts saying yes, just to get out of that confusion. Now understand this in a little more simple language. Suppose you want a commitment or an answer from someone, but that person is not ready. If he is repeatedly postponing, then instead of asking directly, make his thinking a little complex. How? Give contradictory statements, like I know you may find this a little difficult, but you have handled situations well before, right? Now this statement gives two opposite ideas. On one side fear and on the other side encouragement. This splits the mind, and the person temporarily loses direction. Or reframe the question again and again. Ask first. You will find it right to do this. Then ask after some time. If a friend of yours asks the same, what advice would you give? Then ask, will this help you achieve any of your goals? Same question, just in a different way. Every time the brain has to do some extra processing. And when this happens again and again, the brain gradually gets tired. And in that tiredness, the person says, yes, okay, let's do it. That is, he said yes. But that yes did not come from clarity, but from confusion. And this is the moment where the control is in your hands. But a very big disclaimer is necessary here. This technique should not be misused. If you use it in an unethical way, like for manipulation or deception, then it can give you results in the short term. But in the long term, it destroys trust. So always keep in mind, use the confusion technique only when the other person's well-being and mutual benefit is genuinely your motive. Use it for clarity with respect, not for domination. Because remember, getting power is easy, but handling it is the greatest art. Now think, If you can shift the mind of the other person so easily, then imagine what will happen when you learn to activate the hidden desires in him without saying anything directly. Point 5. Future pacing. The magic that connects the future to the present. Now imagine you are talking to someone and suddenly you give them such words as if these things are already decided. You say that when you do this, you yourself will feel that this was the best decision. Or when you take this decision, you will see how much positivity will come in your life. What happened? You did not say anything directly to anyone, but you have made their mind travel to that future where they are already happy with that action and they themselves start moving in that direction. This is future pacing. You redirect their subconscious in such a way that they themselves start acting in that direction, as if they already have full conviction and confidence to take that step. When you tell someone that you will feel good when you do this, then their mind starts imagining that scenario, and once their mind feels that situation, their body starts moving in that direction. This is a kind of psychological momentum, where the person in front neither does anything with force nor with any pressure, but does that thing naturally and comfortably, because his subconscious has already accepted that this is the best step. Let us understand this with an example. Suppose you are telling a friend that when you implement this business idea, you will yourself feel that it was the best decision for you. You will see that both your confidence and success will increase. Now what will happen? That friend will start thinking by focusing his mind on that future. Yes, this can be true. Then gradually he will be ready to take action on the idea, because his mind has already visualized that success. Here, with future pacing, you have just given them a step. You have shown them a picture, but their subconscious makes that image so strong that they start moving in that direction naturally. You have led them, without any coercion. You can see how powerful this technique is because you are leading the person in the direction of his future, and he considers it his own wish. This becomes a kind of hypnotic suggestion, where the person feels that he is taking this step on his own, when in reality you are subliminally guiding them. So the next time you ask someone to take a decision, instead of you just saying, "You can take this decision," say that when you do this, you yourself will feel that this was your best decision. What will he do? He will visualize his situation in the future and immediately move in that direction because his subconscious will have accepted that image as true. Remember, future pacing is not just limited to decisions and actions. It works everywhere. Relationships, growth, business, personal success. Now imagine if you can lead the other person's mind in this way, then you can control their entire mindset and actions without them even realizing it. So, this was our future-facing technique for today. What will be your next step? Now that you have all these techniques in your arsenal, imagine how easily you can influence persuasion and control. So friends, if you liked this video and learned something new, then do like, because your support motivates us to bring more great content. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any new technique, and tell us in the comments which point you found most interesting. Your feedback is very important to us, and we are with you in your journey. Stay tuned for more secrets and see you next time. Till then, stay in control.